The beloved 1970s sitcom Sanford and Son brought joy and laughter to millions of households with its groundbreaking portrayal of African-American family life. Yet behind the humor and heartwarming moments lies a sobering reality. 9 talented actors who brought these iconic characters to life have tragically passed away, leaving behind legacies that continue to resonate with fans today. Their deaths serve as poignant reminders of mortality's reach, even among those who made us laugh the hardest. Red Fox was the heart and soul of Sanford and Son, playing the cantankerous junk dealer Fred Sanford, who made audiences laugh with his quick wit and fake heart attacks. His portrayal of Fred became one of television's most beloved characters, breaking new ground for African-American representation on primetime television during the 1970s. Born John Elroy Sanford on December 9, 1922 in St. Louis, Missouri, Fox grew up in poverty and faced numerous challenges from an early age. He left home at 13 to pursue entertainment, eventually making his way to New York City, where he worked as a dishwasher and performed comedy in small clubs. During this time, he befriended Malcolm Little, who would later become known as Malcolm X, and both men worked together at Jimmy's Chicken Shack in Harlem. Fox built his reputation as a stand-up comedian through decades of hard work, performing what was known as blue humor in nightclubs across the country. He released more than 50 comedy albums, earning him the nickname King of the Party Records. His raw, uncensored style of comedy was considered too risque for mainstream white audiences for many years, but he persisted and gradually gained recognition for his talent. When Sanford and Son premiered in 1972, Fox finally achieved the mainstream success he had worked toward his entire career. The show became a massive hit, consistently ranking in the top 10 television programs and running for 6 successful seasons. Fox named his character Fred Sanford after his own brother, and the character's famous catchphrase, "This is the big one, Elizabeth, I'm coming to join you," became part of American popular culture. Tragically, life imitated art on October 11, 1991, when Fox suffered a real heart attack while rehearsing for his new CBS sitcom, The Royal Family. Because he was so famous for faking heart attacks as Fred Sanford, his co-stars initially thought he was joking around when he collapsed on set. The 68-year-old comedian died later that evening at Queen of Angels Hollywood Presbyterian Medical Center. Red Fox's legacy extends far beyond his television success, as he opened doors for countless African-American performers and comedians who followed in his footsteps. LaWanda Page brought fire and fury to Sanford and Son as Aunt Esther Anderson, the Bible-thumping sister-in-law who could match Fred Sanford insult for insult. Her character became one of the most memorable and beloved figures on the show, providing both comic relief and moral grounding as she constantly battled with Fred while showing genuine love for her nephew Lamont. Born Alberta Peel on October 19, 1920, in Cleveland, Ohio, Page was raised in St. Louis, Missouri, where she developed a lifelong friendship with Red Fox during their childhood years. She began her entertainment career working in small nightclubs, where she performed as the Bronze Goddess of Fire, an act that involved eating fire and lighting cigarettes with her fingertips. This dangerous but impressive skill showcased her fearless personality that would later translate perfectly to her television work. Page spent years performing stand-up comedy on what was known as the Chitlin Circuit, a network of venues that catered to African-American audiences during the era of segregation. Her comedy style was raw and unfiltered, earning her the title the Queen of Comedy among her peers. She recorded several live comedy albums for Laugh Records during the late 1960s and early 70s, with one album titled Watch It, Sucker, becoming a gold-selling hit that capitalized on her Aunt Esther character's popular catchphrase. When Red Fox was developing Sanford and Son, he specifically requested that Page be cast as Aunt Esther, despite producers' concerns about her limited television experience. Fox threatened to leave the show if Page wasn't hired, insisting that audiences would love her performance. His faith in his childhood friend proved correct, as Aunt Esther became one of the most popular characters on television during the show's 6-season run, from 1972 to 1977. After Sanford and Son ended, Page continued working in television and film, appearing in movies like Friday and guest starring on numerous TV shows including Martin, Family Matters, and 227. She battled diabetes for many years before the disease ultimately claimed her life on September 14, 2002, at Centinela Hospital Medical Center in Inglewood, California, at the age of 81. LaWanda Page's legacy lives on through her groundbreaking work in comedy and her unforgettable portrayal of a character who proved that strong, outspoken women could be both funny and formidable. Gregory Sierra played Julio Fuentes, the kind-hearted Puerto Rican neighbor who lived next door to the Sanfords and often found himself on the receiving end of Fred's bigoted remarks. Despite the constant insults, Julio always responded with patience and good humor, making him a perfect foil for Fred's cantankerous personality, while also serving as a bridge between different cultures on primetime television during an era when such representation was rare. Born Gregory Joseph Sierra on January 25, 1937, in Manhattan's Spanish Harlem, he was raised by his aunt after his parents abandoned him when he was just 6 years old. Growing up in a rough, predominantly Irish neighborhood presented many challenges, but Sierra found his calling when he accompanied a friend to an acting school audition. Although he was only there for moral support, Sierra ended up being accepted into the program instead of his friend, launching what would become a 5-decade career in entertainment. Sierra honed his craft by touring with the National Shakespeare Company and performing in the New York Shakespeare Festival, where he took on classical roles, including Macbeth and Romeo. He moved to Los Angeles in the late 1960s to pursue film and television work, initially finding himself typecast in roles as Latino criminals or police officers. His breakthrough came in 1972 when he was cast as Julio Fuentes on Sanford and Son, a role he based on his own uncle, who he described as a very jolly and very nice man. After leaving Sanford and Son, Sierra achieved even greater success as Detective Sergeant Chano Amenguale on the police sitcom Barney Miller, where his emotional and dedicated character became a fan favorite. He appeared in numerous other television shows throughout the 70s, 80s, and 90s, including Miami Vice, Hill Street Blues, and Murder, She Wrote, consistently bringing depth and authenticity to his performances. Sierra battled stomach and liver cancer for an extended period before passing away on January 4, 2021, at his home in Laguna Woods, California, at the age of 83. His death marked the end of a remarkable career that spanned theater, television, and film. Gregory Sierra's work helped pave the way for better Latino representation in American entertainment, proving that characters could transcend stereotypes when portrayed with skill, dignity, and genuine humanity. Nathaniel Taylor brought street-smart charm to Sanford and Son as Rollo Lawson, Lamont's smooth-talking best friend, who always seemed to be involved in some kind of questionable scheme. Dressed in flashy suits and colorful hats, Rollo was the kind of character who could talk his way into or out of almost any situation, and his presence on the show provided a perfect contrast to Lamont's more responsible nature, while giving Fred Sanford endless reasons to worry about his son's choice in Friends. Born on March 31, 1938, in St. Louis, Missouri, Taylor shared the same hometown as Red Fox, which would later prove to be an important connection in his acting career. Before entering the entertainment industry, Taylor worked as an electrician at the Performing Arts Society of Los Angeles, where his mentor Larry Clark recognized his natural talent and encouraged him to try acting. Clark arranged for Taylor to meet with Red Fox, and the two men bonded over their shared St. Louis roots, leading to Taylor's casting on Sanford and Son. Taylor appeared in 32 episodes of Sanford and Son from 1972 through 1977, making Rollo one of the show's most memorable recurring characters. His catchphrase of calling Fred Pops became a running joke throughout the series, and his character's criminal past provided ongoing tension between Fred and Lamont. After Sanford and Son ended, Taylor reprised his role as Rollo in the short-lived spin-off series Sanford, and also appeared in Red Fox's later sitcom The Red Fox Show as a character named Jim Jam. Beyond his television work, Taylor appeared in several blaxploitation films during the 70s, including Trouble Man and Willie Dynamite. He also had recurring roles on other popular sitcoms like What's Happening?, where he played Rerun's brother-in-law. After his acting career wound down, Taylor opened a performing arts studio in Los Angeles, where he taught acting to young aspiring performers, passing on his knowledge and experience to the next generation. On February 23, 2019, Taylor was rushed to Ronald Reagan UCLA Medical Center after suffering a heart attack. He passed away 4 days later on February 27, 2019, at the age of 80 years old. Nathaniel Taylor's portrayal of Rollo Lawson remains a beloved part of television history, representing an era when African-American actors were creating complex, entertaining characters that resonated with audiences across all backgrounds. Whitman Mayo brought joy and optimism to Sanford and Son as Grady Wilson, Fred's lovable and eternally cheerful best friend who could find the bright side of any situation. Known for his infectious smile and his signature catchphrase, "Good googly goo," Grady served as Fred's loyal sidekick in countless get-rich-quick schemes, while also providing a gentle counterbalance to Fred's gruff and often cynical personality throughout the show's 6-season run. Born Whitman Blount Mayo, he was a Korean War veteran who worked various jobs before finding his way into acting, including time as a waiter, vineyard worker, and counselor for troubled teenage boys. His diverse life experiences gave him a deep understanding of human nature that he brought to his performances. Producer Norman Lear discovered Mayo after seeing him perform in a New York City theater production and was immediately impressed by his natural comedic timing and warm screen presence. When Mayo joined Sanford and Son in 1973, his character Grady was initially intended to be a minor recurring role, but audiences responded so positively to his performance that he was promoted to a main character. Interestingly, although Grady was portrayed as an elderly man on the show, Mayo was only in his early 40s when filming began, demonstrating his remarkable acting ability to convincingly play someone much older than his actual age. Mayo's popularity as Grady Wilson led to his own spin-off series titled Grady, which aired during the 1975 to 1976 television season. Although the show only lasted one season, it gave Mayo the opportunity to showcase his talents as a leading man, and proved that his appeal extended beyond his supporting role on Sanford and Son. He continued acting in various television shows and films throughout the following decades, always bringing the same warmth and authenticity that made Grady Wilson so beloved. Mayo also reprised his role as Grady Wilson in other Sanford and Son-related projects and made guest appearances on numerous television programs throughout his career. His personal life was marked by 3 marriages and 3 children, including his son Ron Mayo, who later served 8 years as a member of the Georgia House of Representatives. On May 22, 2001, Whitman Mayo died from a heart attack at the age of 70, leaving behind a legacy of laughter and the memory of a character who reminded viewers that friendship and optimism could overcome almost any obstacle. Don Bexley played Bubba Bexley, one of Fred Sanford's closest friends and frequent partner in various schemes around the junkyard. As a regular presence on Sanford and Son, Bubba provided steady companionship to Fred and often served as a voice of reason when Fred's plans became too outrageous, though he was usually willing to go along with whatever adventure Fred had in mind, making him an essential part of the show's ensemble cast. Born Donald Thomas Bexley on August 10, 1910, in Jamestown, Virginia, he began his entertainment career during an era when opportunities for African-American performers were extremely limited. Bexley worked his way up through the entertainment industry during the challenging years of segregation, performing in vaudeville shows and working the nightclub circuit, where he developed his skills as both a comedian and dramatic actor. His long career in show business spanned several decades before he found television success later in life. Before joining Sanford and Son, Bexley had already established himself as a respected performer in the African-American entertainment community. He appeared in various television shows and films throughout the 1960s and early 70s, often taking smaller roles that showcased his natural ability to bring warmth and authenticity to his characters. His friendship with Red Fox, which dated back to their earlier days performing in nightclubs, eventually led to his casting as Bubba on the hit sitcom. Bexley's portrayal of Bubba was marked by his gentle demeanor and loyal friendship to Fred Sanford, creating a character who audiences could relate to and appreciate. Unlike some of the more outrageous personalities on the show, Bubba represented the everyday person who found himself caught up in Fred's wild schemes, and Bexley's performance brought a grounded quality to the series that helped balance the more comedic elements. Throughout his time on Sanford and Son, Bexley continued to work on other projects and maintained his reputation as a reliable and professional actor. His long career in entertainment demonstrated his dedication to his craft and his ability to adapt to changing times in the industry. In his later years, Bexley suffered a fall that injured his hip, leading to complications that affected his overall health. On April 15, 1997, he passed away at the age of 87 from heart and kidney failure related to his injuries. Don Bexley's contribution to Sanford and Son may have been quieter than some of his co-stars, but his steady presence and genuine portrayal of friendship helped make the show the beloved classic it remains today. Pat Morita appeared on Sanford and Son as Ah Chew, a good-natured friend of Lamont, who often became the target of Fred's racially insensitive remarks. Despite the frequent insults, Ah Chew always maintained his dignity and kindness, representing one of the show's efforts to address prejudice through comedy, while also providing audiences with a character who demonstrated grace under pressure and the importance of treating others with respect, regardless of their background. Born Noriyuki Morita on June 28, 1932, in Islington, California, his early life was marked by tremendous hardship and resilience. At age 2, he developed spinal tuberculosis and spent the next 9 years in hospitals, much of that time wrapped in a full-body cast, with doctors telling him he would never walk. After undergoing spinal surgery at age 11, he finally learned to walk again, only to be sent directly from the hospital to join his family at the Gila River internment camp, where Japanese Americans were imprisoned during World War II. After the war ended, Morita worked in his family's restaurant in Sacramento, where he first discovered his talent for entertaining customers with jokes and stories. This early experience performing for audiences led him to pursue stand-up comedy, and he eventually moved to Los Angeles to work as a comedian under the stage name Pat Morita. His friendship with Red Fox resulted in his recurring role on Sanford and Son, which helped establish him as a television actor during the mid-1970s. Morita's career reached new heights when he was cast as Arnold Takahashi on Happy Days, becoming the owner of Arnold's Drive-In and a beloved character on the popular sitcom. However, his most famous role came in 1984 when he portrayed Mr. Miyagi in The Karate Kid, a performance that earned him an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor and made him an international star. He reprised the role in 3 sequels and also provided the voice of the Emperor in Disney's animated film Mulan. Throughout his career, Morita struggled with alcoholism, a battle that ultimately contributed to his declining health in his later years. Despite his personal challenges, he continued working until near the end of his life, appearing in films and television shows that showcased his versatility as both a dramatic and comedic actor. On November 24, 2005, Pat Morita died from kidney failure at his home in Las Vegas, Nevada, at the age of 73. His passing marked the end of a remarkable journey from a sick child told he would never walk to an Academy Award-nominated actor who inspired millions of people around the world. Marlene Clark joined Sanford and Son during its 5th season as Janet Lawson, Lamont's sophisticated and beautiful fiancée, who brought a touch of elegance to the chaotic world of the Sanford junkyard. Her character represented Lamont's hopes for a better future and provided a source of tension with Fred, who initially disapproved of their relationship but eventually came to accept Janet as part of the family, making her an important part of the show's final seasons. Born on December 19, 1937, in Harlem, New York, Clark grew up in a vibrant cultural environment that nurtured her artistic interests from an early age. She spent her summers in West Virginia with family and later attended Morristown Junior College in Tennessee before enrolling at City College in New York, where she participated in school plays that sparked her passion for acting. Her striking beauty and natural talent led her to work as a fashion model before transitioning into acting during the late 1960s. Clark made her film debut in 1968 with a small role in For Love of Ivy, starring Sidney Poitier, and quickly established herself as a talented actress in both mainstream and independent films. She appeared in notable movies including Midnight Cowboy, The Landlord, and Enter the Dragon, where she played John Saxon's secretary alongside Bruce Lee. However, her most critically acclaimed performance came in the 1973 horror film Ganja and Hess. A vampire movie became a cult classic and showcased her dramatic range and screen presence. Throughout the 1970s, Clark appeared in numerous blaxploitation films and television shows, building a reputation as a versatile performer who could handle both dramatic and comedic roles with equal skill. Her marriage to actor Billy D. Williams from 1968 to 1971 brought her additional attention in Hollywood circles, and she continued working steadily in film and television throughout the decade. After her acting career wound down in the 1980s, Clark shifted her focus to the restaurant business, opening and managing establishments in Los Angeles, where she became known for her impeccable style and attention to detail. She remained active in the entertainment community while building a successful second career in hospitality. On May 18, 2023, Marlene Clark passed away peacefully at her home in Los Angeles at the age of 85. Coincidentally, she died on the same day as her Slaughter co-star Jim Brown, marking the end of an era for fans of 1970s cinema. Marlene Clark's contribution to Sanford and Son and her broader work in film helped pave the way for future generations of African-American actresses in Hollywood. Frank Nelson appeared in multiple episodes of Sanford and Son, playing various characters who always seemed to get under Fred's skin, bringing his signature comedic style and famous drawn-out "yees" catchphrase to the show. Whether he was playing a salesman, clerk, or other authority figure, Nelson's characters always managed to frustrate Fred with their overly formal manner and condescending attitude, creating some of the show's most memorable comedic moments through his perfect timing and distinctive delivery. Born Frank Brandon Nelson on May 6, 1911, in Colorado Springs, Colorado, he began his entertainment career in radio at the remarkably young age of 15, when he played a 30-year-old character on a radio series broadcast from Denver. In 1929, he moved to Hollywood and worked in local radio dramatic shows, usually playing leading man roles, before discovering his true talent lay in comedy and character work that would define his long and successful career. Nelson became a radio legend through his work on The Jack Benny Program, where he appeared regularly for 38 years, magically showing up as any clerk, salesman, or official that Jack Benny's character encountered during his adventures. His exaggerated "yees" response became one of radio's most recognizable catchphrases, and he successfully transitioned this character work to television when The Jack Benny Program moved to the small screen during the 1950s. Throughout his career, Nelson made guest appearances on virtually every major television comedy series of his era, including I Love Lucy, The Real McCoys, The Addams Family, and many others, always playing put-upon authority figures who became the perfect targets for the show's main characters. His distinctive appearance, with his thin mustache and precise manner of speaking, made him instantly recognizable to audiences, and his professionalism made him a favorite among producers and fellow actors. Beyond his acting work, Nelson was deeply involved in the American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, serving as a founding member and later as national president of the organization. He worked tirelessly to establish pension programs for freelance performers and was respected throughout the industry for his advocacy on behalf of working actors and broadcasters. Nelson was diagnosed with cancer in 1985 and fought the disease for over a year before passing away on September 12, 1986, in Hollywood at the age of 75. He was laid to rest at Forest Lawn Memorial Park Cemetery in Glendale, California. Frank Nelson's legacy lives on through his thousands of television and radio appearances, proving that even the smallest roles can become memorable when performed with skill, dedication, and perfect comedic timing.